Hi friends, this is Lady Flora, and in this video we are asking the question, should you homeschool your children this year? Or maybe we should ask the question, can you homeschool your children this year? Let me start off by saying I am a homeschooling working mom of 3. I have a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a baby 1-year-old. We make a lot of videos on this channel about homeschooling. We're very eclectic and we like to talk about books that we've read and curriculum that we've tried, amazing lessons that we've learned and projects that we've done together. So if you're interested in that, you can subscribe. So in May, the CDC put out some guidelines that they want in place for when school opens up in fall of 2020. And some of those guidelines are all-day mask wearing for children and adults, staggered attendance, daily health checks, no gym or cafeteria use, restricted playground use, and strict social distancing. Is this what you had in mind when you imagined your child going to school this year? Is this the kind of experience that you wanted for them? And is it possible that maybe you could give them a different experience that you might feel better about? I want to start off by saying, yes, you can homeschool your child. You are your child's first teacher, and you are the person with their best interest at heart. There's no teacher, government, official, or organization that cares about your child more than you do. So let's say you've decided that you are going to homeschool your child this year. Where do we begin? Well, a lot of people are working from home right now, but let's say you are working a Monday through Friday, 9-to-5 job, and it's not very flexible. Well, what we've got to do is find the time to do lessons. So if you think about a typical day at school, a lot of time is spent in busy work and a lot of time is spent managing the classroom. When it's just you and your child or children, you can just focus on what needs to be done each day. So let's get back to our 9-to-5 schedule. I'm betting that if you got up early in the morning, which you might already do because your child is going to school and school often starts pretty early in the morning, you probably have an hour with them before you need to go to work. Additionally, you probably could squeeze in an hour at night before everybody goes to bed. Think about how much time you're spending maybe watching TV as a family, or maybe on your devices, or maybe searching Facebook or social media. Maybe that's time that you as a family or you as a parent can exchange for quality educational homeschooling time with your child. Let's talk about the weekends. Saturday and Sunday, a lot of people don't work on those days. This is a perfect opportunity to expand on various subjects with your child. Let's say Monday through Friday, you spend time on the essentials like reading and math. Keep your lessons to about 20 minutes each. On the weekends, you can do science projects. You can talk about history. You can go deeper with some of the subjects that maybe you don't have time to work on during the week. This is a good time to do art, phys ed, music, programming, foreign language, home ec. The possibilities really are endless when you're homeschooling. Let's say, like a lot of parents, you are asking yourself, how am I even going to begin teaching math or reading to my child? I'm not qualified. Well, you are qualified because you are the person with your child's best interest at heart. But also, what do teachers do? They use a curriculum. They don't just come up with all of the lessons off the top of their head. They find a book that they use as a foundation or a spine for the information that they're teaching. And when the student passes certain tests, the teacher deems that child educated in that particular subject. There are a ton of wonderful curriculums to choose from. Some of them cover all subjects. Some of them you can pick and choose, just pick math or just pick English. But don't get overwhelmed. There's a ton of videos here on YouTube where people are giving you their review of a curriculum. They open the book and let you see inside. Also, I'm a big fan of just getting these workbooks that you can find at Walmart or Target or even the dollar store that are grade specific and they cover all the subjects. So it might be the second grade workbook, and it's got language arts, science, it's got math, it's got even a little bit of history and geography, everything in there that you could depend on for a foundation. And then of course you can just expand on these things, checking out some books, maybe even watching videos or documentaries to kind of expand on the information that you've learned. Also, don't discount yourself. You have a lot of experiential information that you can give your child. I use the What Your Kindergartner Needs to Know, and currently we're using the What Your Second Grader Needs to Know. It's a really great book to fall back on. It has a ton of great content in it. It's got short stories, it's got poems, it's got geography, it's got history, science, math, examples of different types of math that children are learning in various grades. It's just a great resource. Okay, so let's get back to that 9 to 5 Monday through Friday schedule. What do you do with your child while you're at work? There are several options. You can enlist the help of family members. Maybe your child's grandparents are living nearby. They can watch the child maybe while you're at work, maybe one day a week, maybe all week. Maybe you have a schedule with your spouse where you are working during the day, they're working at night, or vice versa. One of you can be with the child during the day, possibly even homeschooling during the weekday. That works really well for a lot of families. In my case, I work a 4-day week. I go in about 3 of those days to the office, and on those days my mom watches my children and my husband watches my children, and then the day that I work from home I take turns with my husband, and then the days where I am just off of work at home I just take on the homeschooling myself. That gives me 3 days to do homeschool. You can always ask who's ever watching your child to do a certain bit of work with your child, like please do page 78 in our second grade jumbo curriculum. You may be able to bring your child with you to work. This could be a really great educational opportunity for your child to learn experientially from watching their parent do their job. They could bring a laptop with them or an iPad, do some educational games or apps while you're working. And of course, my children are very young, but maybe your children are old enough to stay home by themselves. Around the 3rd grade, children are able to be more self-led in their schooling. So you can give them a list of things to do for the day, and then you can kind of leave them to it. This can be very helpful if you are working from home, which is a challenge unto itself, and your child can be doing the work that they're supposed to do while you're doing your work, and then when your hours are done, you can sit with them and go through and see what they've done and see maybe where they might need some help, and give them some more hands-on attention. There's also virtual schools where the child sits in front of a computer and does their lessons through a website or through a live video chat with a teacher. There's a really great curriculum called Teaching Textbooks, which is a computer program that literally just teaches your child the subject that they are trying to learn and lets them know if their answers are correct or incorrect. And keep in mind, homeschool does not have to look like public school. The curriculum can be different. You can learn from library books. You can learn from workbooks that you find at Walmart. You can learn from YouTube videos. There's so many different ways to teach, and there's so many different ways for children to learn. Don't box yourself in, and don't feel like it has to look a certain way. I have a few other videos on this subject. In one video I talk about how I homeschool and work a full-time job. Another video is how to begin homeschooling. There's a lot of good detail in that video for you need to check out if you're going to get started. So if you need a helping hand, you can subscribe. We can be friends. It's totally free. I don't need your email address or anything. It's just some videos that I've made to try and help people here on YouTube get started with homeschooling. If you want to get a picture of what we do on our homeschool days, you can follow us on Instagram. I also have a Facebook group called Eclectic Homeschoolers where you can just be encouraged to post your questions and other people chime in. There's even some teachers in that group. And until we meet again, enjoy your children and rest in the sublime.